Okay, so after you've punched holes, either with an awl or a hammer and nail or a large needle, even whatever pointy thing you have. And I'll show you. I think I ended up couldn't find my awl or a large needle or nail. Well, I found this. It's just a screw, and that's pointy enough. So I went through the folds, the pages, 1, 2, 3, with that my ruler scale thing, makeshift thing with the paper. Don't even have to, take measurements, the half and then the fourth, and then, well, I could just show you once. All I have to really do is do one, and then I use the other one. Use it and hold it up against the page I haven't done it with yet. Then take the screw or the nail and just kind of pop in it. I might have to apply more pressure, put it on the table. You do that and just poke it so that you can see the light come through. Don't go so big, but that's enough. That's enough for the thread and then your needle to go through. And then line them all up. You might want to go through all your pages and just double check, because if you're making this whole thing by hand, it could be prone to errors. You don't want to mess up your year, or maybe you do. May, June, July, August. Now, sometimes I found this out of order. That's no good. August, September, October, November, December. Yes. So at this point, we've got all our pages in place, and take the strong thread or twine thing. This is bookbinder's thread, but you could also use ribbon twine. And I've doubled it over, so it's just a little stronger. And generally, you want to get a length that is 1, 2, at least 3 times the length of the spine of the book that you're trying to bind. But I think I might have just made a little short. And since I can't find a large needle, I'm just gonna make something that's kind of close, which is to take this like wire, 24 gauge wire they get at the hardware store. Use it for other projects, and so you don't have to make it super straight, just semi-straight, and then make a little hoop, an eyelet, or actually just fold it over. That's actually better, because then it can fit in a hole. You can make the fold a little longer too. That might hold more string, be more sturdy. And I find that this is a good enough needle for most of my scrappy bookbinding needs. I'm not very precise with my bookbinding, but that's because I just need to bind the book so it's functional. I'm not a perfectionist about that kind of thing. Alright. The makeshift needle looks like that. See, it's just a wire, a piece of wire that's folded over like that. Fold it over kind of tight. It's enough to pull thread through a hole, which is all you need. Okay, so I put my folded over thread. I knotted one end. I put it through the hoop of my homemade needle, and ooh, this is actually kind of dangerous. Liquid on your table of important dry things. Okay, and for a simple saddle stitch, once you got the holes here, you can line it up. Oh, look, I use this tack, whatever fits in. And take your needle and feed it through. Oh, where did it go? Just fell. Feed it through the back of the spine. Through the hole, through the middle hole. And pull it through, but not all the way completely. So hold it so that the tail is like, oh, let's say 5 inches, 5 or 6 inches still out. Leave it there because you want to tie a knot with it later. So that's what you have so far. You've got the tail of the thread, the knot hanging out, and then with the pages mostly in place. Now you take the needle and put it through one of the other holes. It doesn't matter which one. You might have to line up the holes again. Holes of the pages with the spine. Master bookbinders would be rolling in their graves if they knew how I was doing it. But it works. Okay. Then you kind of have this U shape where the tail is going through the middle and the longer part's going through one of the side holes. The third hole left, you line up the holes again of the pages with the spine, and then yeah, that's all right. Then pull the needle with the thread through the third hole from the back of the spine. So I'm not sure what's a better way to explain it. It's hard to see on the camera, huh? Maybe we could do a better video of this some other time if I do more preparation for it. Oh! Come on, you can do it. It can work. What's wrong? Alright, I think if you're pretty careful and you hold those holes in place, you can do it. You can do it. Okay. So then hold the thread all the way through so that it's pretty taut. And what you have at this point here is something like this. You see, we had taken this thread and we went in through the middle. Then from the inside, we picked the side hole and then came up through that side hole. Then bring the needle and go back in through the spine and pull the thread out here. So that's what you have. That's what it looks like at this point. And the back is like you've got a straight thread through and this tail coming out. To finish it off here, you take the thread, the needle, and this part you gotta try not to get the threads tangled up, kind of, crossed over. So maybe just use your tack pave the way. Then feed the needle with the thread in through the middle hole. Yes, victory. Okay. So, pull at the threads a little bit from both the outside and the inside. So make sure it's pretty taut on the inside too. Not so tight that you're gonna rip the paper or bend something. Bend the paper. You know, make the holes too big, but tight enough so that there's not slack, because that will help your book stay strong and sturdy. So, alright. What you got now should look kind of like this. Got this thread through the middle. Both side holes they come in this way, and they feed through the middle. So since you've got one end of the thread, the two ends coming out of the middle hole, and this thread, arrange it so that the middle, this long thread, is in between the two tails. So the two tails are on either side. Just pull it and arrange it so that it is that way. Then, when they seem pretty tight, they seem pretty good, tie overhand knot. Just tie that tight. You don't want to use a slippery ribbon or some kind of like very cottony thread that will break over time. This bookbinder's thread is linen, waxed linen. The wax helps hold the knot in place. That's very good for binding books. Twine, I think, might work just as well. I don't know if it will break or slip over time, but you can experiment with it. I'm sure you could even use wire, but that might break over time. Bookbinder's thread is pretty solid. So I tie a couple of knots just to be sure. And here, and you can also put a dab of glue right there if you want it to be super strong. I'll do that now just to see how that looks like. Elmer's glue is probably okay. I don't think that's permanent. It's washable, but it works. I tend to like using bookbinder's glue just in case. You can tie another knot again, or just leave that. And then you can cut your thread pretty close, or you can leave it long if you like the way that looks. I'm gonna cut that at that length. So I think that's cute. If you want to bind this book in another way so that the tails come out the top, you know, either of the side holes, that's also fine. You can also tie these edges, tie them down this way so that it's not opening up in the middle. But this, I think that's up to you. That's kind of aesthetic issue. And that's all. I think that's basically it to have a blank calendar. If you don't want a blank, you just do this to get the skeleton down, and then decorate it how you wish, or maybe cover it with prints, or maybe this is just your way to brainstorm a non-blank calendar, and then you can kind of figure out what images you want, and then open up the spine again, and then you've got these pages, which you can just take to a Kinko's or FedEx or whatever, or a print shop somewhere, friend with a giant printer who can do it more affordable price in bulk. I don't know. But then you've got the pages with your design, and you can very easily make copies you've got a template for your otherwise not blank calendar or your blank calendar. So that's what I got so far. I put that on already, but I'll probably end up drawing or painting more on it over the year. We can catch up again at the end of the year and see how that looks like. I was thinking it's probably also a good therapy tool if you want to use that to track your moods, you know, or travel dates, something, what you're doing, health cycles, color it in with your emotional state of that day, you know, whatever. And then you can kind of see the patterns visually. That's actually why I started using these wall calendars way back in the day. I think I was copying the way my friend Diana did that with, she kept a wall calendar in her backpack. And then Dunkin' Donuts they were passing out free ones, so I gessoed over the images so I could paint on the top half. And then I found that it was a good way to track mental and emotional states, patterns. You're looking for patterns, maybe. All right. Anyways, I think that's it. I hope that's it. You don't. Oh yeah, you don't have to do it this way, but it's just an idea.